Hi, friends. Good evening. Welcome back to at another session to Thinking and Destiny. We are just flowing very beautifully how our thinking or how our mental thinking is affecting our future or our destiny through Parsival wisdom. So, before we connecting back today in a session, let us meditate for 5 minutes on the consciousness of Parsival. Let his wisdom flow through every one of us. So please sit in a meditative posture, clasp your hands and close your eyes. We don't need eyewear, so take it out. Please observe your normal, natural, soft, tranquil breath. How you are taking vital energy into your body through in-breath. How vital energy is flowing through various organs of your body. Everything in this world is entering through breath form into us. It could be a life for a pregnant woman. Life is also entering. Even though the fetus is forming a physical body, the soul is entering through your breath. And each and every thought you are bringing, when it is exteriorized, it is again going through breath inside you, touching your lungs, your heart, your kidneys, and is getting exteriorized. So each and every thought we release to this universe is going to go and exteriorize if we do not cancel it before it reaches to form one. So always be careful, be vigilant what thought you are releasing to this universe. Observe each and every thought you are releasing. Place your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. Slowly open your eyes with a beautiful smile on your face. Karuna is ready. Over to you, Karuna.
Welcome everyone. My deepest pranamams to Subhash Patri sir and Swarnamala madam. Let's go into our recap. We talked about exteriorization of a thought. It's chapter 3, mental destiny, section 3. So it goes like this. The thinker guides the cyclic movements of the thoughts in the mental atmosphere. It brings about an exteriorization of thoughts in conformity with the thinking of the doer in the human. So therefore, the destiny of a human is directly proportional to it by the thinker under the light of the intelligence. Thinking that comes from the mental atmosphere, it gets its building material from matter of the mental atmosphere, also at times from different planes of the physical, form, and life worlds. Its structure is built out of intelligent matter and nature matter, and therefore can be exteriorized as an act, object, or an event. So, thinking does not turn into a thought, it prepares conception of a thought. After conceived, the thought in it has light of the intelligence, desire, and the physical matter, which was carried to the doer in the impression made from nature. A thought is conceived in the heart and on the life plane of the light world. And if you notice, knower is not affected. Witnessing by the thinker stamps the thought, identifying it with the one who is responsible for it. And friends, mental activities, usually the mental activities are actions and interactions of the four senses and three parts of the triune self. The role they play can be illustrated with an example, like as we discussed last time, piece of property. Request for a mortgage is an example. So if you want to buy a property and if you go to a money lender, the senses, the money lender the money lender should have to make a decision to give a loan to you, right? So the decisions that he takes from the information that he gathers from the senses and previous experiences and previous judgments and previous ideas about it makes this transaction to happen. So here the decision for a money lender to make it happen, he is taking the interactions of the four senses, like so we talked about it in detail last week. So it says that thoughts have a great potential power and the ability to last for ages as they are born in the light world. And human thought is not an independent being. It is dependent upon the one that issued it or on a foster parent that is like another human who entertained and nourished it. A thought can be revoked, dissipated, or changed before it becomes exteriorized. But once exteriorized, it continues until it is balanced. And we will know how it is exteriorized and how it is balanced. So it goes like this. Upon birth through the brain, the thought is in the light plane of the light world and clothed in light matter. If you remember, we have this light plane, light plane, and then life, and then form, and then physical. So the thought is born, conceptualized, the thought is created in the light plane of the light world and clothed it in light matter. Then it passes to the light plane of the life world, which clothes itself with light matter. And then design becomes actual when the thought reaches the light plane of the form world and clothes itself with form matter. On the light plane of the physical world, the thought comes into contact with light matter of the physical world. So it is descending from light, life, form, and then physical world. So this is where the first step in exteriorization happens. And once it is exteriorized, it has to be balanced. So, but that exteriorization does not become actual until after the three steps that I'm going to talk about. So on the life plane of the physical world, the sounding thought tells more distinctly what it is. Its aim becomes more definite, and then it descends to the form plane of the physical world, where it takes on full form and remains there until there is an opening made into the physical plane by the conjunction of the time and condition at some place. Then the thought is clothed in brain with radiant matter, heart and lungs with airy matter, kidney and adrenals with fluid matter, and in the digestive system with solid matter. And it results as an act, object, or event. So all this can take place in a flash and is affected by the breath. That's why we don't really realize it whenever we are making a thought. So much is happening behind the scenes. This is how it works in terms of this triune cells and the doer in the physical body. So the balancing factor, therefore, is potential. Balancing factor is a seed which conscience made upon the thought at the conception. So thought has a journey, it has to be exteriorized, and then it has to be balanced. So by exteriorization of the thought, doer is affected pleasantly or unpleasantly, satisfied or dissatisfied with it, being morally right or wrong, and the thought will be balanced. So once thought came in physical plane, physical germ in the thought pulls it to the object. After the thought issues, it becomes a center of force without form and in a formless world. So that's why whenever we do the cyclic process of thinking, and there is so much goes behind it, so it's advisable to make only the positive, if you cannot, only the neutral thought, and then advance it to positive thoughts to make your life and destiny beautiful. Thank you, madam. Over to you.
Thank you, Karna, for the quick and detailed summary. Even though it is in 5-10 minutes, you have given all the session in detail. So we have learned like how the thought can be exteriorized, how the thought travels, when the thought will be released. It is not that whatever the thinking that you are doing, it won't become a thought. If you think some negative thing, no, we should not think it. Then if you stop it, then it won't get exteriorized. It's not that whatever it comes to your mind, it will get exteriorized. Thought is the one when you are actually repeatedly, you are doing it, right? So then only it will become a thought. It will conceive as a thought. Then it will go to the form plane and it will again come back to you for exteriorization. So you may ask, in the flash of the minds, you may get some of the thoughts, but cautiously when you do not entertain those thoughts, then they will not conceive as a thoughts. Okay. We will see what are the human thinking today, how it got beaten apart. What are the beaten parts of the human thinking? Let me share my screen.
Madam, before you begin, I have an announcement.
Sure,
so masters next 2 weeks, our session will be on Wednesday instead of Thursday, and the same time, right, Sirisha madam? Yeah.
Yes.
So we will have
for 2 more weeks.
For 2 more
weeks.
Yes.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for 2 weeks. That is. I don't know where is the Zoom gone. Okay. Zoom screen one. Let me share. Are you able to see? Okay. Slideshow. Okay. Today's agenda is human thinking, its beaten paths. What are the paths it got beaten, and what are the things? And characteristics of our mental atmosphere and moral aspect of thinking, where you are thinking also, what is the moral aspect of it? So these are the topics that which I plan to cover. We'll see how much we can cover. Okay. As you know, there are 2 kinds of thinking: the real thinking and human thinking. So the real thinking, we are all aspire to go for the real thinking, but we are now in the human thinking. So it can be active or a passive, both thinkings in the human thinking. So now we will see what are the paths of how it got deviated and how we can discipline our thinking. What are the ways to discipline our thinking? Okay. Thinking is actually, how we can discipline is if you overcome a desire, if you exercise on that, you can discipline your thinking. So only thing is the thinking is coming on the desires, the feeling and desires. Whatever the feeling and desires, based on that you are actually running after, and you started thinking in those directions. Okay, is carried out under certain types of the thoughts, which are the origin is 12 universal points. Always 12 universal points we say, right? So those 12 universal points, the thinking is carried out. What are the thinking that is carried out? Here he is saying mainly the human thinking is carrying out on 8 pairs of things. What are those 8 pairs? Me, not me. This is mine, this is not mine. Okay. So there you are you are actually deciding. If it is yours, then you feel a different pain. If it is not yours, you feel a different pain. In the scriptures, they'll say one small story. Just they're not in a simple way. There, there are a father and son. So the home is getting it caught up fire. Okay, when it caught up fire, the father is so feeling so sad about that. Oh, my house is gone. Oh, this much the value of the things, it is gone and all. The son will come and say that, oh, oh, dad, this was already signed yesterday itself, and means we already sold this house yesterday because you were not there in town. You don't know. We already sold this home. Then he feels so relaxed. All his pain is gone. So here is me, not me. In both the cases, the house burning is there. The same incident is happening. When it belongs to you, the pain is more. When it is not belongs to you, you are actually getting relaxed. This is the one kind. Most of the things, that is how the things are going on. If it belongs to you, means you are actually attaching yourself to your body. So whenever you are attaching to yourself, your body, it is always, it's mine or not, my kids, my home, my things, my car. So these are all you are actually attributing yourself. If it is not you, your thinking is different. Okay, visible and invisible. Suppose if you say you are not your body and your life will continue, where is the proof? How do I know it? What is the guarantee that the next life I will have all these things? Let me enjoy it first, because that is invisible to you. That is why you want. If it is visible, then you can believe. If it is not visible, then you are not believing it. All this soul, whatever these things are, you have to see. You have to go inward and you have to believe it, right? Then only you can understand things. So it is not. It is invisible. So you cannot. But if you say that there is an electron, there is a proton, you are believing, right? Because somebody saw in the microscope. Similarly, the souls also somebody experienced, but still we don't know, because that is scientifically proven. That's how it is. This is right. So visible and not visible. In and out of the spirit and matter. So in and out of the spirit are a matter. In the matter or out of the matter. Spirit and matter basically. In and out are spirit and matter. Spirit is invisible. You cannot. And matter is everything. It is visible. And also thinking, your male thinking and female thinking. You are thinking through your organs. A female, the way the female thinks, the way the male is not thinking. The way male is thinking, the female is not thinking. So why? Because you are thinking. All our thinking depends on these four plus 8 factors. These are the 8 factors that our body accustomed to think. Being a woman, how can she do that? Being a man, how can he do it? Is it not his primary responsibility to do this kind of? Because we are actually attributing responsibilities, or we are actually attributing thinking to the gender also. Means people started thinking through their female type, male thinking, female thinking. So these are all the two pairs and opposites, like male, female, me, not me. All these are pairs and opposites, right? So in this way, we started thinking. So here you may ask, like, how those plants are also, you have means the female plant and male plant. He is saying this is all because of the human thinking only. In the first or second chapters, we learned animals will also, whatever the thoughts that you are actually making, right? Some undesired thoughts, if they are coming, they will become animals. They'll become the other things are also. That is also one of the place Percival is mentioned. Here also is saying all the female thoughts, whoever the female the thinking. So those, because of the thoughts, female animals will will be there. And whereas male people's thoughts, when it is exteriorized, they will create the male animals. So these are all the things that is happening just because of the man thinking, because of man or woman. That means it's a human being thinking. Because of your thinking only, your space that is exteriorizing into the matter. So that could be animals, that could be any other things also. Okay. So your thinking was limited to your sexual, elemental, emotional, and intellectual subjects. So these are all the subjects, right? If we okay. Okay, welcome. So all our thinking based on the previous slide, if you see, all our thinking is based on either sexual, man, female, elemental, some elements that we want, are emotional. Oh, I love, I hate, I get angry, I want to work. So these are all with all the emotional or intellectual. So I want to discover something in this or something, right? So all your thinking is based on this only. So are you ever thinking of how the space, what is about the space, light, and this kind of is the time exists, what is the time, when is the step. So these are all the different thinking. So even if somebody start thinking about it, they'll drift off to the thinking of your sexual emotional things, right? Suppose in one thought, in every one of us, we will get a thought. Okay, where does we come from? Even as a kids also we'll get this, where did we come from? Why so many people are having so much of differences? If I used to have this question, when God has created, let us say, they say that God has created everybody. When now God has created, why somebody is so rich, why somebody is not even getting money to have the food? So these are all the questions we will have as a kid. All of us will have the questions, because that time we are so pure, and also we are not binded with any other responsibilities, right? But as we grow, that what the thing is happening is you are having so many other responsibilities. 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day you are working, so your brain is occupied with the work, and once you come back, your kids, your schools, their work. So where is the time that you are getting to have the real thinking, or to progress yourself towards the real thinking? We are not actually spending enough time. So even if somebody tries to spend the space, light, and what is this self, what is this atma, then immediately they'll drift away to the sexual, emotional thinking, all the things they are actually getting drift off. So the amount of experience, right? But if you are thinking on the amount of experience and learning, because we are not thinking that, we are all thinking these things, whatever the experience we are getting, whatever learning we are getting, or whatever the knowledge we are getting with these kinds of thinking, emotional or elemental or intellectual thing, it is limited. You may be a scientist, okay, you may be launching a space rocket, so your thinking was broadened to, instead of to a sexual thinking or just emotional thinking, your thinking was a bit broadened, and you went into the intellectual thinking, but your thinking was still limited to that particular space. But you are not limited to that particular thing only. You are unlimited being. You have all the knowledge. Being a knower within you is having all the knowledge. If you can go to that particular stage, right, then you will understand. So that is why all Ramana Maharshi or whoever the people, they say, know yourself. Who am I? That's what they said. So who am I? If you are actually getting it, who you are not the doer, you are not the thinker, you are the knower. So that is the part that we have to go. He is insisting that the same thing with a different terminology. Those who join new, so you may be feeling a bit new, but the thing is here, within every person, there are three people within us. That is doer, which we are all thinking that we are the doers, and then thinker, those who are going a bit, and then started thinking righteousness, reasoning, all the thing. And the third one is the knower. The third portion, knower, is the one all knowing, is an omnipresent. He is everything is known by them. So who is that knower? Every one of us is having that knower. Only thinking we are thinking that we are limited to this body. We are thinking only we can do this. We are thinking we cannot do that. So something like that. That is how, because whenever we are thinking limitedly, our knowledge is also limited. When you think that you are the knower, your knowledge is unlimited. That is the one limitation that we all having it. So another limitation is that every man is limited by a particular class into which the past thinking is consequent development to put. So there is a past thinking, right? You are having your past life. So that thinking is carried out because you left with some of the thoughts. Some of the thoughts were going into the life plane and it came to the form. You are not there. So until you comes where the thoughts are circulating there. And once you come back, then those thoughts will exteriorize in your life. So obviously those thinking, because whenever those thoughts are trying to exteriorize, your thinking will go towards that. So particular class of thinking. Suppose to understand better, I'll say, oh, I'm an educated person. I cannot do like that. You are differentiating yourself a class, right? Here, okay, being an educated, being a working, you cannot do some kind of thing. So you are actually limiting again that particular thing. You are limiting to the to where being educated I can only do this. That is why so many people like who are so much who are educated, suppose if you don't get a job, there are so many ways that you can actually do. There are so many ways that you can earn money, but the thing is, no, I don't have job, but I will do only this particular kind of things. He can think he can think so much innovatively in other areas also. Nowadays we are seeing that even not people are not actually pertaining to the particular profession. They are anytime they are actually changing and they are able to think in that. So like that, each and everyone, Percival, according to whatever the Percival is saying, every one of us is having that knower capabilities. Only thing is we should believe that we are the knowers, then all the entire knowledge is available to us. So what is that limited thinking? We think that we are the bodies first. First we are bodies. Me, my body. Okay. I cannot do this. So we are the bodies first. And the last also. So we are thinking at the end, at the death, we are gone. So that is the first limitation of our thinking, which we are not, which we should not do it. We are thinking that. And second one is, whatever the thinking that we are going, we will go with what am I going to gain? By doing this, what am I going to gain? When I joined my masters in yoga and spirituals, and everybody, mostly 80% of the people ask me the question, what are you going to achieve with this? Why are you investing so much money on that yoga when you learn? I mean, but are you having any ideas of doing a business in this area? So which means what is the thinking? Whenever you are trying to do something, so what is the profit for it? What is the gaining part of it? So what I'm gaining here, even if I take, I'm gaining the knowledge. I'm gaining the knowledge. Whenever I'm studying something, I'm gaining a knowledge. That is not important. The gain in the physical terms, that is the thing that everybody is expecting. So our thinking is limited to the first one is we are thinking our body is first and body is the last. And second one is we are actually gaining or getting something or selling something. If you are growing something, oh, are you going to sell something? And comparing with others. So this is the thinking that we are actually going on. See, gaining, getting, selling, buying. These are the things. Suppose, see, first house. I have seen first house you are buying. Okay. Whenever you are buying a first house, also people, okay, we have to go according to this plan. Tomorrow, when I am selling it, the moment you are buying, you are thinking about selling also. When you will sell all the things, you see so many people, no, if I change this, that may be too Indianized, so it may be difficult to sell. Or if I buy this particular place, it may be difficult to sell. So all the things. So the moment you are actually starting happily, you are buying, not that you are actually thinking of selling also. See, buying, selling. When you will sell, maybe when you gain more money, you want to upgrade, maybe any other case, right? You may want to move off anything. That selling part is also coming into your mind. Okay. Buying, selling, what I said, gaining, another thing is getting something to you. So these are the 4 thinkings that we are doing it. That is the second part. What is the third part? And comparing. Sorry, the one. The third part is comparing. Planning, comparing. Planning and comparing with respect to your reputation. Oh, if I do that, people may think like that. So everything, your name in the society, your fame in the society, your reputation in the society, you are thinking of that. So with that, you cannot able to do certain things, right? So that is the comparing, planning. So this is also very less people. That is what this by the third stage itself, people will be less. First one is so many people. Body is first, body is last. Second one, getting, selling, buying, and gaining. Most of the people. And third one, there are some of the people which wanted to achieve and all. So planning, comparing, do something. So that is also these 3 stages. Many of us, 99% of the people are falling in these 3 categories of thinking. What is the 4th category and the best category? The 4th category is acquiring the self-knowledge. Acquiring who am I, whom you are, what is the purpose of you coming to this particular life. It is not that you are just coming to life just to eat, sleep, and raise your kids and go. It's not your purpose. It is the part of your thing. It is a part of routine that you are doing, but your purpose is something else. Everyone has taken the birth to perform, to fulfill some purpose in the purpose of life. What is that purpose of life? So your self-knowledge, purpose of love, why you came into this world. So there are few people who are falling into this category. Whether this much or this much, we are all belongs to some of the category. Maybe some of the ant head kind of thing. We all belong to that kind of category. That is why in the evening and working the evening, we are all sitting here discussing about what Percival is trying to say to us. If not now, we may be, whenever we are learning these things, if not today, whenever we get the time in the life, right, we can still go on search of this self-knowledge. Sorry.
Prasanna, you want to turn off your video. So can you change the slide too?
Okay, I can wait. In that way I'm comfortable. Thank you. Okay. Next one is like, if people are not thinking like this, right? I said,
can you
like,
change the slide, Prasanna?
No, I didn't complete it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Here, if people are not thinking about me, I said people are thinking me, not me. I told, right? So if people are not thinking about me or not me, what will happen? If you are not thinking about me or not me, there is no ownership, right? There won't be any ownership because you are not belong. So everything is so. Then there is a chance that you will not believe the creation or creator also. There is no belief of this creation or the creator also. So that thing is also there. If they did not divide the world into the visible and invisible, then there won't be any darkness. Okay, there won't be any darkness, and you can see all the things. That is what, when you go to the knower stage, that is what will happen. Because when you go to the knower stage, there is nothing like light and even in the meditation. Just tell me, if in the meditation, when you close your eyes, you are able to see many things. You are able to get so many visions. You are able to some intuitive power is guiding you. Where all these things are coming, you are not seeing the world. Somebody is not coming and preaching you. From where all these thoughts are coming to you, how you are able to learn all these things? Tell me. It is coming within you. It is coming from your side only. The reason is all the knowledge is within you. So when all the knowledge is within you, you are able to tap the knowledge. In the meditation, instead of seeing outward, you are seeing inward. Whenever you are seeing inward, that knower portion, you are trying to activate it. You could see well in the dark. When you are closing your eyes, you could see well in the dark as you see in the light. So that time, there is no visible or invisible. Everywhere you are able to see that. You are able to see, and something will be guiding you. Okay, if we think more than in and out, we could see throughout the things. If we did not think of a spirit or a matter or force and matter as a differently, they would actually see it is the two parts of the same thing. two aspects of the same coin, you can see. So it is space, spirit, matter. So spirit and matter, they're combined. So spirit is coming in the matter in order to do things. So you will see that they are the same. So everything, the matter is getting just the exteriorized, you will be able to see. So when you are seeing that you are coming out of that in and out portion, then you are able to see all these things. If you are not seeing this, then you are limited by your dishonesty of thinking. When you are not seeing this, you will be limited by your dishonesty of thinking. Whenever, okay, yeah, this is all we just talked in the previous. It is limited to sexual, elemental, emotional, and intellectual subjects. If human thinks, attempts subject like time, space, and light, but he is falling back and going to these subjects only. The amount of experience and learning is limited to these subjects because you are thinking. Here I told you like 4 things that human cannot thinking without their bodies first and last, cannot thinking idea of gain, getting, selling, and buying, cannot think of without planning, comparing, and with respect to their reputation or a name. Then 4th is few things acquire the self-knowledge. Very few people are thinking to acquire the self-knowledge. Man belongs to one of the first 2 categories. Every human being is belong to one of the first 2 categories. Either he is thinking his body, just fulfill your bodily needs, and do some business, gain some money, buy, sell, gain, all the things. The first 2 categories. The amount and the quality of the thinking may be transcend the limited to his class. The thinking is limited by dishonesty of thinking. The thinking against what believes to be right. So here, why he said that thinking is limited by dishonesty is every one of us, whenever we are doing something, you know what is right. No matter, we cannot say that I don't know, that's why I did it. No, nothing like that. If you are actually doing any task, just thinking within yourself and doing it, your conscience, your consciousness or conscience will tell you what exactly is right. You know what is right. Always, whenever you are doing something, you are within you, that is giving you hint. This is not right, this is right. If you are thinking against to it, that is a dishonesty of thinking. Thinking against what you believe to be right. You know that it is right, you believe to be right, but you are going against it. Dishonest thinking shuts out light. Whatever that holding the light we are thinking, right? So that light we are shutting out because you are thinking, you don't have any honesty in your thinking, so you are shutting out your light. So these are all the things, like these are all the things that these are the beaten paths, right? So up to this, whatever we talk is beaten paths. So do not think of body mind. Do not think of the body mind. If you are thinking of body mind, you will be thinking only yet you are the body. Starting and ending, your light is diffused. You cannot hold the light. You cannot go to the thinker portion also. Forget about knower portion. Okay. Human, and usually how our path is, right? How our thinking pattern is, you always accustomed to thinking. Okay, 10 people did it. Let me go to the same kind of path. I'll give you the best example. Here I see different, at least in India, if you think any family, if you take either medicine or engineering, the two only the education paths. If somebody thinks differently, then 100 people will have 100 doubts. One of my colleagues, he had only son, okay, and they lived in US, and they just wantedly they go back and they settled there. So any otherwise he need not earn money so early and do something and all. He likes architecture, so he said he wanted to do architecture. No, before he gets, because he wrote an MSET and he got 10,000. Oh, 10,000. The seat won't get it. So they went and bought an NRI seat in one of the college. Later, after a month, architecture results came out and he scored 72 or 77 rank in that architecture. Means he is having that interest. So he worked hard in that because it is an out of box thinking, right? So we are the very people, even if you are trying to think also, people is not allowing you think, and you are just going into, you are drifting off the back to it. So here human thinking is accustomed thinking. Why those parents wanted to send him only the engineering? Because so many successful people are there, so let him go. So we don't know, because we don't have any family in architecture. So whether he will succeed or not, we don't know. Later I saw, like after 5-6 years, his TED talks and all those things, he got so famous, and he designed the houses for celebrities as well later, because this is what happened in 14 years back when I'm in India. So that much. So it's a physical thing, but still anything, right? Anything which is out of box thinking, people are not thinking. Accustomed thinking, familiar parts of the religion, familiar parts of the science, or familiar parts of philosophy only we wanted to go. We don't want to go to the new way. We don't want to see, because your thinking was limited to the physical world. Your thinking was limited to the corresponding activities only. Suppose if you say education, so whenever you got an education, so you think that, okay, this education you have it, so this education taught us these are the things. Your senses are limited. Your senses also limited to your thinking, to the familiar parts only. Your senses also not going beyond. So let us take. I'll give one more example. You have some vegetable, you got it. You wanted to cook curry. So what is the curry that you are giving? You start thinking what your mom cooked, what your sister cooked, or whatever that you already ate. So you are actually going into that path only. That a familiar path only you are going. You are not actually thinking, can I do this? Can I mix this vegetable with that? Can I use the different kinds of herbs and try this? How it will be? What I can do it? Are we trying that? Even there also means, I can say why I took that small example is, from there onwards we started only a custom path only. We are not going into the new path. That is where we are actually getting struck with the thinking. We are compelling, all our compelling. But here what human says is, you are compelled with to think with the nature. That is why Percival says we are actually able to advance so much into the natural sciences. Why? Because human thinking is so much aligned with the nature, and he thinks more into the nature. That is why the human beings have advanced, and they progress so much into the natural sciences. But it has, again, because they are thinking up to proving something or inventing something, their thinking again was limited there only. So once you go to that beyond these four senses, once you leave these four senses, and if you go beyond these four senses, if you go directly, then you can go to the real thinker. When you go to the real thinker, you can see the knower. So that is the portion where you can see the whole, the light. With the consideration of the reality of the physical plane, you are not believing only the physical plane. Your thinking is going beyond the physical plane. Then you are able to see the reality of the life. Okay, there is no conception of his limited. So then he will not have any conception of your limitations. There won't be any limitations of your thinking. You will not limited to the matter, or you will not limited to your feelings. You are not limited to your sex. So means male or female, something like that. You will see, because all these are having dimensions. Don't keep your thinking a dimension, because the physical plane is having dimension. You are able to see length, breadth, and height. Then your thinking was limited. But if the space, if you are thinking, it is a measure of a space. There's no dimension for the space. So go beyond your thinking. So don't limit yourself with your God, with the religion, with these things. Go beyond that. Go beyond the religion. Go beyond the God. Go beyond all these beliefs. Then you will understand everybody is that knower. Okay, human beings will not be ready. Actually, what he is saying is, even though Percival says or somebody says to us, we will say, okay, we will think today. Tomorrow we'll think, okay, well, life is good. Why we have to think that way? When everything is going good, why to strain ourselves? So, but if you go to that knower portion, you need not strain. Everything will flow into the life. Okay, they are not going. Human being, what he's saying is, human beings are not ready to leave all these limitations and go beyond that. So they are actually going only with the feeling and desire, and they wanted to see that doer in the body only. But you are the triune self. Don't think that you are just the doer in the body. You are the triune self. You are trained self and you have the thinker, you have the knower capabilities. Do not limit yourself to this thinking that is existed. That is the first portion or the first agenda item that we have completed. The second is the characteristics of mental atmosphere. What are the characteristics, mental atmosphere characteristics? As just now the Karuna explained, right? Whatever the thoughts that we exteriorized, they're going to the life plane, light plane, life plane, form plane. It is coming again and then getting exteriorized. So somewhere, all the thoughts that you are releasing, it is there in your mental atmosphere. How that mental atmosphere you will get affected? How? What are those characteristics? The doer mental destiny of a character is the mental atmosphere. Your mental destiny is a mental atmosphere. So why? Because some of the people will get some thoughts. That is why they will say, right, your character will build around the people, how where you are surrounded, right? So the people who are around you surrounded, that also defines your character. Why? Because their thoughts and your thoughts are releasing, and their thoughts, whenever they are releasing in the mental atmosphere, their thoughts are affecting your mental atmosphere also. When your mental atmosphere also get affected, it may be good way or polluted way, whatever the way, right? Whenever it is affected, it will come to you, and it will again it will get exterior. Suppose a kid, as a kid, when he is associated with the people who are actually nature lovers and want to do something to the country back, and they are actually thinking all those things, then this kid will also grow like this because they are releasing that kind of thoughts. Suppose if the kid is associated with the people who are drinking, who are doing all the drugs, yes, this kid will also go, because that such a thing is that mental atmosphere, whatever it is there, it is getting thing. That is why people will say, always check whom you are associated with. Do not deplete your energy. Okay, all the thoughts created which are not balanced circulate there in the mental atmosphere. All the thoughts will be circulated. Okay, in terms of distance, and if you want to see the distance wise, how where it is the mental atmosphere, some thoughts may be the stars, how the stars far away, right? Those that much the thoughts may be circulating. Some thoughts may be circulating in the nearer planes also. So if the thoughts are circulating like a so far away like a stars, those thoughts will not get affected to you in this life. In this life, it won't get affected, because you are releasing thousands and thousands of thoughts, right? In order to live those thoughts, you need to have so many lifetimes. That is the reason why so many, why all the Mahatmas, right? They are not thinking, that just actually closing. They're closing their senses. Closing eyes is the biggest 80-90% of the things that you are getting is through eyes only. If you close that eyes, you will not perceive the outer world. So when you are not perceiving the outer world, you are seeing the inner world. When you are seeing the inner world, you are shutting off your thoughts. When you are shutting off your thoughts, you are not actually releasing so many things. When you are not releasing so many thoughts, those thoughts will not get exteriorized. When they are not exteriorized, you need not take births and births again and again. That is how our karmic cycle is also coming. When you are keep on releasing the thoughts, when you are opening that, you are seeing all the so much, right? When you are seeing all the world, then you want to have this, you want to have this dress, you want to have that jewelry, you want to have that job, you wanted to have that car. But whereas a sadhu who is there in the Himalayas, or sadhu who is there doing some tapas, he will not seeing all these things. He will not get all these thoughts. He is actually trying to shut his mouth and closing, shut his eyes, shut his senses, and closing all the thoughts. Okay. Those which affect the present life circulate nearer to the nearer zones in that part of the mental, and which is the actively the psychic atmosphere of the human. So when it is actually coming nearer to that, what will happen? It will affect the psychic atmosphere of the human being. Okay. How does it affect? You can see, all of a sudden I got this thought. You will say, so many of us also will get say, and even others from others also, I don't know, that day I'm just sitting, I got this thought. I thought, why can't I implement? From where the thought is coming up? Because the thought is, you exteriorize somewhere, it is near. And when the time comes, when the time, whatever the space, time and event, right? When it is coming, it is exteriorizing, it is entering through your breath form into your physical organs, and it is actually making you think. So the present character, so whatever that mental atmosphere it is there, that is coming to you, and the present character of the mental atmosphere are depending on your moral and upon the intellectual endowments also. Whatever that's your moral, and so there may be hundreds of thoughts is coming. So let us take again, I'll take a normal, very normal day-to-day life examples. I'll take it, right? There is something like, so somebody is going or something, there you saw some money or something that is a valuable thing that you saw it. So as a human being, you may want to grab it because nobody is seeing. It is, you can take it yours, you can take it, but morally inside your heart it is saying no, it is belongs to somebody. Whenever they realized, they may feel bad, and they may be searching for it. So how do I find it? Okay, there is a person. Is there any identity? Can I give it, hand over it to you? Is there any way that I can give it nearby so that they can reach out? So these things will commit. So moral atmosphere, right? So I can say the boy's sense, right? When the girl is going, hundreds of people, when the beautiful girl is going, right? So many people want to talk with them, wanted to have that girl or something like that. But morally, whenever you are thinking, no, she is somebody's sister, somebody's daughter, I should not think. So you will not even entertain those thoughts when you are morally thinking of it. Okay. Human thinking is within humans' mental atmosphere and will not function except according to the character of a physical psychic atmosphere. This is a very, very important. I just wanted to make it a point in this slide. The second point, right? The third point also, I'll just say the character of these two atmospheres is definitely established at any given time and is determined the nature and thinking and can go in the human. You can go in the human. Here he is saying, because you exteriorize some thought in the life, again, here is the question. Karmic bondage also, it will come back and bite us. Here also, we are thinking that if you are actually releasing a thought, it is coming and biting you. The thought will be exteriorizing. Here Parsival is clearly mentioning, even you release some thought, some negative thought somewhere, but the thought is trying to come and bite, exteriorize in this lifetime. That mental atmosphere, even though it is mental atmosphere, your character will decide. Your character of his psychic atmosphere will decide whether that can be exteriorized or that cannot be exteriorized. That is what I'm saying. So whenever there is even Gandhi says, right, one of the things, he went and ate food in one of the home. He's a thief, it seems. And after he ate the food, he also got that kind of, like, what do you say, that taking away the other things, the thief mentality, he also got it, and he took away one glass from his home or whatever it is, something he came out, because that thief things came him because he ate the food in that particular atmosphere. What he is saying is, here we can convert. So that is the atmosphere. That atmosphere is there in the mental, but what he is saying, in your psychic atmosphere, character decides. Suppose if your character is saying that, even though 100 people may come and tell you that, oh no, do that, no one is seeing, you can do that. But if your character is saying that morally right character, you will not do that, because you will stick to your character. So even though that thought belongs to you in one of your previous lifetimes, but if you built a strong character, that will not touch you. Even if it is a negative thing, even if it is a bad or anything, you build up your character so strong, then that thing will not touch your psychic atmosphere, because you are very strong in that. That is the one which is very important, because you may think that when it is the same, when everybody can do that, when somebody in some lifetime I must have done so many thoughts, so all the thoughts will get exteriorized, then why I have to do meditation now? Why I have to suffer, let me enjoy it and go. Anyway, so all the thoughts will get exteriorized. Whenever it is there, I will go. Many people, whenever I say eat healthy food, they'll say, there are so many people we know that they eat healthy, but they passed away at 40s. What is the use of eating healthy. It is the passing away, or whenever you are taking away the life, that is already written in your thing, in your chip, in the last, when you are actually dying, previous lifetime, that time itself, it was written when you are going to born and when you are going to die, the next lifetime also, because all your consolidated thoughts, that was embedded in your chip. Okay, that is already there. So when you take in a life, it is already there. How well, how morally you are there. Suppose if you are living, if you are taking a healthy lifestyle, you will live up to that time healthy. If you are not having a healthy lifestyle, then you will live up to that time, even though you didn't eat all the good, you will live up, because that was the but you may be bedridden, you may be other people may be suffering because of you, all the things might happen. So how well you are actually defining your life is all, it is all depends on this. It is not that because somebody died, so we can do whatever we like it. Things cannot be desired and cannot enter into the psychic atmosphere unless the character is unless the character of that atmosphere is permitted. If you are not actually daring, you will not enter into that particular. Even if you think becomes an object of a desire in the psychic atmosphere, the desire cannot enter into the mental atmosphere unless the character of that will permit it. See, even if it become the psychic atmosphere, also it came. The object it came, whatever that object you exceeded, that object came into the psychic atmosphere. But the desire cannot enter into the mental atmosphere if your character is so strong. Thinking generates thoughts, issues, and elaborates before and after they become thoughts or issues. This is the point which we already learned last class, and Karuna also gave. Thinking, you will have hundreds of thoughts. But when you are elaborating, when you are going over and over again, then only that will become a thought. Then only it will issue the thought. I told you one example of driving, right? Whenever your kid or your family member comes to home late, your thinking goes, maybe some accident happened, maybe that happened, but immediately you cancel that thought. No, nothing will happen. No, they will be safe. They might have got late in the class. So you will immediately cancel the thought because you don't want to elaborate that, because the fear of, you want your kids or your family members to be safe. Okay. But where the other case, if you take, right, so there are people, I know also now also, oh, if I drive, I'll met with an accident. I may do an accident. I may do it, because they are thinking over and over and over and again the same thought. So ultimately, someday they thought, okay, I came out of the thinking, they took the car, but the accident, that time they do not have any fear, but they met with an accident. Why? Because they release the thought to the mental atmosphere over and over and over again. But when it will get exteriorized, this person has to drive, right? When all the time condition, everything comes into the picture, that got exteriorized, and that took place. That is how the thought will get exteriorized. So do not do any unnecessary thinking of it. Okay. I'll stop here. Atmospheres, I didn't cover the other part of it, moral thinking. So if any questions, I'll take it up. I'm sorry if any disturbance due to my cold.
No, madam, very commendable. In spite of school, you did not stop the class today. That's so good. That shows your dedication.
Dedication, actually. You are the inspiration for everyone.
Thank you. Any questions, new people or anybody? I'm sure Subuna Garu.
So if we keep thinking about some other person, so if we keep thinking about some other person and the way she does or he does.
Got it. Complete. Karuna?
I think she got stuck, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, others can share your thoughts. You can add the Karuna. Yeah, we missed your question.
Is unstable today.
Yeah. You are asking, if you are thinking
Repeat your
other person, what will happen? Yeah. What
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the
Let's say my mother, let's say my brother. They, if I keep thinking of their actions that are not good, that I think are not good for them and for me, and if I keep thinking about it, and if I keep talking about to my friends or some other people in the family, extended family, it looks like looks like they're going to do it. It looks like it is exteriorizing. The thought is exteriorating in the form of some that person doing it finally. So
no, I
now
don't. You need not even thought. The thought, right? That is why meditation, you send positive thoughts to them. That's what they say, right? How they are getting experienced. We have learned that in spiritual higher self, right? They say that when you are actually shouting, people are not listening. Okay, then what is the thing? Do meditation and send all the positive thoughts. How you are sending? So those thoughts are going in the mental atmosphere and going there and getting exteriorized. Okay, that is how telepathy, people say, how what is a telepathy? So you are releasing the thought and it's going under, it's hitting the other people's mental atmosphere, and it is actually getting exteriorized there. That's how it is happening. So when all this is a science, when we have it, right? So we have to believe these things also. Like, definitely the thought you make is having an impact, definitely, right? But only thing is, we don't know that, oh, we didn't do it, we just released the thought, but that is getting affected somewhere. So that's why we, as Sir is saying, explaining that different kinds of thoughts. Okay, you start at least with the normal thinking, go with the positive thinking. Negative thinking, normal thoughts, positive thoughts, and miraculous thoughts. That's what we learned, right?
neutral,
So
negative, neutral. Yeah.
and neutral, yeah. Neutral, start with this. Forget about negative. At least start with a neutral. Okay. Then go with the positive thinking. Go with the miraculous. Miraculous is nothing but when you become a knower, everything is miraculous because you know everything. You can do everything, right? So that is a miraculous thoughts will come. So you have to go to that stage. So doer portion is negative and neutral. Okay. Thinker portion is the next portion, right? You are positive, thinker portion. And miraculous is you are the knower portion. Everything, if you see, right, everything that you learn in your spirituality can be actually mapped with these states. The other day, I just got an idea, like, suppose here they are saying physical world, form world, life world, and light world, right? Suppose if you see whatever the knowledge that you have in other scriptures, right? What is that other scriptures that you have? Causal world, astral world, causal world, supracausal world. You can map all these things to these worlds. So each one use the different terminology. Percival used the different terminology. Our Vedas use the different terminology. Bhagavad Gita is a different terminology. But everybody is saying the same thing. At the end of it, all are trying to say the same thing. That is what we need to understand.
So send positive vibrations or positive thoughts when you are meditating to the people and to their actions. And one day, hope it will
meditating
change.
or non-meditating, everywhere, one day they will change. Just one day they will change. They will get changed, whatever the way that you think, right. Suppose if it is really right for them, until then, what we have to think is, suppose if they did something really bad, what I'm saying today also, somebody is saying like, oh, because of my dad I have to marry this person, because of that I'm suffering. What I said is, not because of your dad you married that person, because of your karmic bondage, it is tied up, you choose it, you marry. That's it. If you are actually suffering, you are serving for them, you are doing it, yeah, it is there. In some life, you must have done something. So you have to serve and take that off. At the same time, I'm not saying that you have to have that life all the time. You should have that resilience, right? You should know how to come out of it also. Whenever you have that knowledge, at one point you can come out of it. So that one is not saying, okay, this is what my life is, do that. No, I'm not saying that one. But Instead of blaming others, instead of blaming somebody for that marriage, it is not because we only choose our parents, we only choose our life partner. We think that it is an arranged marriage, so my parents choose it. It is love marriage, so I choose it. Nothing like that. These are all predefined. That is what we learned it, right? So when we learn it, we should not blame anything. We choose our siblings, we choose our thing, and we know that their characters are that. Knowing that, we choose them. Knowing that when we choose them, we have to, maybe we choose them, we wanted to send them positive vibes and get some change within them. Try to do that.
So don't resist
Recently,
it. Don't resist.
Yeah,
Don't resist. Yes.
Recently what happened, it's my father's sister, my aunt got admitted in hospital. So after discharging her, still her children, they kept in the daycare center. Okay, because she need medical support, and so she need some more support. So my mother she visited her. So when she visit, she's saying so many complaints on their children and on their family members, right? She's giving so many complaints. If that same frequency, my mother also suggests same thing, means it doesn't help her.
Yes.
See, her daughter and even my father also, they are in the same frequency they are talking. So it won't help. My mother, instead of that, just accept your situation and just gratitude to yourself, whichever position is facing now, just show your gratitude. But in that state, they cannot understand some easily. But see, this body mind frequency, when they are in body mind frequency, you are also same frequency. If you talk, it doesn't help you. If you are in the thinker, or if you are in the knower state, if you speak, it helps you, it helps them definitely, right? So
yes.
we should understand the frequency. So which frequency are they in? So
Yes,
which
exactly.
frequency we are in, what we are learning. So from there, we should at least try to give some affirmations or suggestions. Then if they are in far also, it will help. Naturally, it will help them. So we can motivate them, right? So
not only that, even for that is a big situation that you talked. Forget about today in the
it's a big situation, but still
normal situations. In normal situations, I'm saying today one of my friend called. Okay, they have a group in that they just kept one joke. See, I just felt bad because when I talked about it, that came. So she's talking about other two persons. It's not belongs to her, right? So I said, see, because whatever they talked or whatever the conversations that happened between them, you don't know. First thing. Second thing, why are you wasting your energy on that particular topic?
Yes.
It is nowhere related to you. Somebody kept it up. No, I'm feeling bad for her. Why are you feeling bad for her? You don't know what happened between them. Okay. So she, instead of conveying, yeah, some people will do directly and some people will do indirectly, right? Even if I get something somewhere, I write a post on the Facebook. Okay, this is what, this should not be like this. This should be like that. It doesn't mean that if you take it. Yeah, once I wrote the post like that, the people whoever actually that day it happened, they didn't respond. There are 10 other people got responded. Okay. Oh, did you mean that is for me? Did you mean that is for me? Because this is all the guilt that maybe she wrote for us, right? Similarly, when it is not for us, after that I stopped writing also, because there's no point. I know what exactly they are feeling, why it has happened, right? So then why to write? Why I should convey? People who know, they will always know. It is the one thing is, whoever did any mistake, whoever wronged you, they will not accept you even if you go with a proof. They will never accept it. Only when they realize that they did something wrong to you, then only they will accept it. Forget about them. At one stage we also did not accept. Okay, kids also, they don't do homework. They say yes, they did it. When we found it, oh, really? I did some. It is all like kids' mentality only. We are all there. Okay, only when we are actually realize it that whatever we did, we try to accept the situations. We try to accept the things, right? Then we can go beyond that. Then we can forget it. Basically, we can forget that particular thing. If you are actually keeping it, and if you are angry, what is happening is nothing is happening to the other person. Remember, it is actually killing you. It is actually taking your energy out. So it is forgiving is the forgive, forget is the best policy. Forgive, forget, so your energy will not get depleted. If you are keep on holding the things, right? What is happening? What will happen? So the people will say, today I read a quote. People will say, I'm so sensitive. I'll get easily, I'll feel bad. Is it a sensitive? No, they are actually holding all the bad feelings on others for years together. That is what it is. That is the reason why you are feeling that you are actually putting in a very rosy picture. I'm so sensitive. No. You are not actually letting it go. If you are sensitive, it is a bad thing that you are doing. If you are letting it go, there is no problem, right? You for 20 years back also, 20, 30, India, especially if you go, people will say, oh, 20 years back, that person did something to me, so I don't do it. And come on, man, that person, the whole body got changed in 20 years, 3 times that body got changed. Okay. And his thoughts might have changed so much times. 20 years back, their understanding, they did something. Even 20 years back, I did so many mistakes because I have only that much understanding, right? So now our understanding changed. So our understanding changed. As I told you, right? Somebody hurts. I used to write a post like 4 or 5 years back. Now I don't write. Why to waste my energy there? Because that time to show off my pain, right? Somewhere I used to write it. Now I feel like if it is useful to 10 people, if my story is useful to some 10 people, I can write. This is the problem. This is how I came out. Okay. If it is only my agony, then don't write it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy or don't deplete your energy. That's how you should be, right? So in any case, you try to, I always try to tell, like Karuna is saying, I always try to educate, explain to my parents. This time I thought, okay, I'm thinking that they are the elders. They should understand. But I don't know their soul age. Where is their souls? Whether they are actually infant souls or adolescent souls, we don't know. So because of that, however, I'm telling, don't hold on grudges against them. Don't go hold on. They just let it go. So they're not letting it go because their souls have not matured enough. So just because we are the kids, we are not, even similarly, our kids also, some of the kids will talk so mature. So because they were the matured souls we got into the earth. As actually time passes, all the matured, enlightened souls are coming to this earth to save this earth. So more than us, our kids will be so intellectually and spiritually grown up. So we have to learn even from them. So if you're open, if you can accept it, you can learn. If you're not open, you cannot.